The theater lights glowed softly as the audience murmured with the restless energy of expectation, the kind that fills a room when people know something important is about to happen but have no idea what form it will take. On the stage stood Sofie Dossi, a slender teenage girl with calm eyes and a gentle smile that seemed almost out of place in an arena built for spectacle. She didn't arrive with fireworks or dramatic music. She didn't shout confidence or force her presence. Instead, she stood quietly, her posture relaxed, her voice soft when she introduced herself, and in that stillness there was something unsettling, as if the calm itself was warning everyone that what they were about to see would not follow the rules they were used to. Sofie explained that she was a contortionist and aerialist, words that sounded impressive but familiar enough that some people in the audience nodded politely, assuming they already knew what was coming. Judges leaned forward slightly, curious but guarded. America's Got Talent had seen contortionists before. Flexible performers were not new. Yet something about Sofie's calm confidence hinted that she wasn't here to repeat what had already been done. She wasn't here to impress. She was here to reveal something. As the music began, the atmosphere shifted. Sofie moved slowly at first, stretching her arms and shoulders with deliberate grace. Her body flowed rather than snapped into position, like water finding its own path. Then, without warning, she began to bend in ways that made the audience collectively inhale. Her spine curved with a smoothness that didn't look human. Her legs rose over her shoulders as if gravity had lost its grip on her entirely. People leaned forward in their seats, eyes widening, hands creeping toward mouths. This wasn't flexibility for show. This was something deeper, something almost unreal. The first twist came when Sofie revealed her bow and arrow. She didn't explain it. She simply lifted the bow, positioned it behind her head, and used her feet to pull the arrow into place. The crowd went silent. Even the judges froze. The idea alone was shocking, but Sofie wasn't finished. She bent backward, her feet guiding the arrow with perfect precision, her body forming an impossible arc as she aimed at the target across the stage. When the arrow released and struck the target dead center, the silence exploded into screams. The audience erupted, jumping to their feet in disbelief. Judges stared at each other, mouths open, trying to process what they had just witnessed. This wasn't just a trick. This was mastery. Sofie smiled briefly, almost shyly, before moving on as if hitting a bullseye with her feet while bent backward was the most natural thing in the world. But Sofie had more planned. As the performance continued, she combined her contortion with aerial elements, lifting herself with silks and props, twisting in midair, her body folding and unfolding like a living sculpture. Each move seemed to challenge the last, pushing the limits further, daring the audience to believe their own eyes. The tension in the room grew with every second. People weren't cheering as much anymore. They were holding their breath. Halfway through the performance, something unexpected happened. The music softened. Sofie slowed down. Her movements became smaller, more controlled, almost intimate. The crowd sensed vulnerability beneath the strength. This wasn't just about shock anymore. It was about discipline, sacrifice, and years of quiet dedication. In that moment, America wasn't watching a trick. They were witnessing a young girl's entire life story written through movement. Then came the moment that truly stopped the country. Sofie set up for her final move, a contortion so extreme that even seasoned professionals would hesitate to attempt it. Judges exchanged nervous glances. The audience fell into complete silence. As Sofie bent backward, deeper and deeper, her head nearly touching the floor behind her, there was a brief second where it seemed like time itself had paused. Some people looked away, unable to watch. Others leaned in closer, unwilling to miss a single frame of what felt like history unfolding. When she completed the move flawlessly and held the position with total control, the theater exploded. People screamed. Judges jumped to their feet. The energy was electric, raw, uncontrollable. And then, just when it seemed the moment couldn't get any bigger, the impossible happened. The golden buzzer was pressed. Golden confetti rained down as Sofie stood frozen, shock spreading across her face. Her hands flew to her mouth, tears filling her eyes as she realized what this meant. This wasn't just approval. This was belief. Belief from the judges, from the audience, from America itself. In that instant, a quiet girl who once practiced alone transformed into a symbol of what happens when dedication meets opportunity. As the confetti fell, the camera captured Sofie's trembling smile, the disbelief in her eyes, the overwhelming emotion of a dream suddenly becoming real. Judges rushed the stage, hugging her, praising her, telling her she had just delivered one of the most unforgettable moments the show had ever seen. Social media erupted within minutes. Clips spread like wildfire. People across the country replayed the performance again and again, unable to understand how the human body could do what Sofie had just done. But the story didn't end there. In the days that followed, interviews revealed the deeper twists behind Sofie's success. She spoke about years of training, about injuries, about moments when doctors warned her to stop, when fear whispered that her body might one day fail her. She talked about practicing alone in her backyard, about being different, about feeling misunderstood. Suddenly, her performance meant more than shock. It meant resilience. Critics debated whether her act was art or athleticism. Experts analyzed her technique. Fans defended her passionately. And through it all, Sofie remained grounded, soft-spoken, and grateful. The Golden Buzzer had launched her into the spotlight, but it was her authenticity that kept America watching. As the competition continued, every appearance carried the weight of expectation. Could she do it again? Could she top the impossible? Each performance added new layers to her story, new risks, new emotional turns. And every time she stepped on stage, America leaned in once more, ready to be amazed, ready to believe again. Sofie Dossi's Golden Buzzer moment became more than a viral clip. It became a reminder that greatness doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it walks quietly onto the stage, bends the rules of reality, and leaves the world for